C'est quoi, Colin?
Un esti de cave. Pensez
Il m'a forcé d'avoir un fils.
un frère ou une sœur. Hey, il va! Ok, t'as vraiment peur de lui, là.
Yes, so if you guys don't know, the narrative and the plot of the 2025 Canadian drama film called Montreal, My Beauty follows a 53-year-old Chinese immigrant woman navigating a late in life queer awakening against the backdrop of a vibrant Montreal summer. Very, very interesting plot. But before we break everything down and discuss the whole relationship between the two, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. So this movie had been on my watch list for a really long time. I was just waiting for the perfect time to go ahead, go watch and go support it. And to be honest, it definitely didn't disappoint at all. It definitely lived up to the hype. It definitely, showed us and gave a very powerful message that I feel like is super important. The movie is almost 2 hours long, so yes, it's a slow, emotional, deep lesbian connection queer movie that if you are not watching it, I can 100% say that you are missing out on it. And yes, it is French, so if you don't speak French, you will probably have to watch it with subtitles, but still 100% worth the watch. It's definitely not a waste of time. So let's get into more details and break down every single thing that happened. So first we're gonna start off with Camille. So Camille, she is in her 30s. She works at a coffee shop. She has a very complex relationship with her parents as her parents are getting divorced. On the other hand, she's queer, she's a lesbian, she's very, out and about her orientation and who she dates and who she's with. But obviously she is single and she struggles in making connections, even though she has, somebody that she occasionally hooks up with that is not Feng. So who is Feng? Feng is how can I say, is a traditional Chinese woman. She is married to a Chinese man. They have a convenience store. In this case, they have their own business running. Obviously, she's a mother of two kids, her daughter who's a teenager and also a younger son. But, their family is a very traditional family. They have a lot of inner, problems going on in life. And basically, Feng, she feels like she doesn't get seen by her family. She's not appreciated. She basically, she just feels like she is seen as a mother and not as a human when it comes to her kids and her husband as well. So she kind of have this avoidance and this emptiness. So when she actually ends up meeting Camille, things definitely changes. So Feng, she goes to French classes, after having a long conversation with her husband. Her husband was finally okay with her going to the classes. So while she goes to the classes, she ends up meeting this, gay guy, and he was basically just telling her about this website that he went on where he met his partner. Obviously, Feng, when she was younger, she had a crush or she had, an emotional attraction towards someone in her past. So now that she's in the stage in her life where she just wants to experience and live new things, she goes on this website and immediately, she finds Camille, and the two just start having conversations. They end up meeting at, Camille's work, and things from there just, went from 0 to 100 real quick between the two. As they start to spending more time together, you can see that at the beginning their situation was just to be physical with one another and have intimate moments. But at the beginning, you can see that Feng, she was struggling, to get to that intimate moment because somehow she was also feeling guilty because she felt like she was doing something that she was not supposed to do because she's a married woman and all of that, and also having a lot of problems at home already. But as the two spend more time together, as Feng helps out Camille with her personal issues that she has going on with her family, you can see that Feng slowly but surely starts to open to Camille, finally making her comfortable enough for them to get, in this case, involved with one another. So yes, they end up sleeping together. Obviously, that honeymoon stage of the two didn't last very long because Feng's husband ends up finding out about the affair, and that was a whole drama that they went through because of the betrayal and everything that they already have going on in their marriage. But that didn't stop Feng from seeing Camille. They still kept seeing one another until in this case, Feng's husband went to, Camille's work and told her to leave her alone, but that also didn't stop them from seeing one another. As Feng actually ends up asking her husband, not to tell the kids and to just basically let her live this moment for her. And obviously, her husband being a very traditional man, I was actually very surprised that he allowed it. But obviously, he knew that he would have to make changes because he wasn't willing to lose his wife over this, and also because of the humiliation that he feels like he's going through. So the two actually ends up escaping to this mini vacation together. In this case, Feng and Camille, where they were just opening to each other, one another, spending a lot of quality time together. And there is when, Camille finally told Feng that she loved her. Obviously, Feng didn't tell her, I love you back. And then kind of somewhere you can see it hurt, Camille, because she definitely thought that she would, get the same energy back. But, I feel like Feng is definitely attracted to her. She's her first real woman on woman experience. And, and she felt like she cares for her. But I don't know if she is outspoken enough to say that I love you back. So after that mini vacation of the two together, there is where things, obviously there's a lot of things that happen in between what I'm doing. I'm just trying to sum up everything. So after this mini vacation that they took together, you can see that Feng goes back to her life. Her husband and her decide to go back to China. Obviously they had to break the news to the kids. You can see that the kids was not happy about it. The daughter didn't want to go. Their son also didn't want to go. And somewhere, somehow, Feng also said doesn't want to go back to China because she feels like she's building her life for herself in Montreal. And if she's going back, it's just to please her husband because somewhere, somehow, she also feels guilty for cheating on him, knowing that even though they have a traditional marriage and they have a lot of complexity and the marriage is not good and, she doesn't get seen, she doesn't feel appreciated. Her husband is loyal to her, but, there's other things in their marriage that are broken. But infidelity from his side isn't one of them. So I do feel like she kind of feel guilty for falling for a woman, knowing that her husband is her complex of her marriage. But obviously later on, you can see that, Feng, she couldn't even say goodbye in this case to Camille. She actually left her a letter, and a photo of back when she was in love for the first time with another, when she was younger. And she basically just said goodbye. You can see the how that ended up affecting Camille. So it was super emotional. But the letter that Feng wrote to her was a very cute message. It was a message of like, thank you for allowing me to be me, and basically, thank you for allowing me to have this with you. And I don't want you to stop loving or putting yourself out there just because things between us didn't work. And because of the decision that I have made in this case to go back to China, you can see that Feng, she took, sorry, in this case, Camille, she took the message very well. So after that, we can see at the final scene where, in this case, Feng and her family, they are on the way to the airport saying goodbye to Montreal. And, you can just see Feng being very thoughtful. She was just thinking a lot. And she just screamed to her husband, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Her husband didn't want to stop the car. And also, the kids also starts to say, we don't want to go, we don't want to go. And kind of that moment, the husband, before they almost got into an accident, you can see her husband just stopping the car. And that's where, you can just see her breaking down in tears. She's saying she doesn't want to go, she wants to stay. So yes, that's kind of the final scene that we got from the movie. Very, 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 very good movie. And yes, if you guys would like more details regarding it, I will highly recommend you also go ahead, go watch and go support it on movie. And I know it will also be available on other platforms very soon. And if you have watched it, let me know your personal thoughts on it.